Thank you for joining Effortless Attraction. My name is Evelyn McAleer. I'm the author of A Life You Want, Effortless, and The Woman's Journey. I'm a life coach, business mentor, and inspirational speaker. And my greatest value is making a difference in people's lives. So I hope through these podcasts I can make a difference to your life. A little bit more information before we pop on over to the podcast. So we're currently residing in the stunning province of Almeria in the south of Spain. As an extension of my mentoring and life coaching services, I'm now offering 4-night retreats tailored for women who are ready to prioritise themselves. So if you're a woman and you're interested in spending quality time with myself and 2 other participants, please visit my website for more details. Additionally, for business leaders and coaches who wish to have their own retreat here in Spain with their clients, I handle all of your logistics, including airport transfers, accommodation and meals for your group. If you'd like to request a retreat proposal, kindly send me an email. You'll get all of my contact information in the description below. Thank you.
Effortless Attraction podcast is sponsored by Colette Leeson Interview and Career Coaching. If you dream of landing your ideal job, consider Colette's services. With a success rate exceeding 90% among her interview clients, Colette offers personalized career guidance and interview coaching discreetly, both online and in person. She also conducts workshops and provides career advice talks. For further details, visit ColetteLeeson.com.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on another Effortless Attraction podcast. I am actually trying not to laugh here because my guest, we just decided let's have a call. This was what it's meant to be, a chit chat. I know absolutely very little and nothing about this lady. And I said, will you trust me to hit record? So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Effortless Attraction is on audio, on Spotify, on Apple, on all major podcast platforms. And now we're also airing on YouTube. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you all that I know about this lady. Her name is Jo Rose. Jo, you're most welcome today.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. This will be an interesting chat.
Isn't it? It's just like, let's do it, because I know nothing about you. But what you have told me, so your name is Jo Rose, and I was assuming it was your first name, but you have said that your surname is Rose, and you decided on this and on your business name through numerology.
Yes, that's right.
Let's kickstart this by explaining that to me.
Okay, so it's an energy thing, Evelyn. I wanted to let go of a lot of things from the past and move forward in a new energy. And so I worked with a numerologist to create something that felt really aligned so I could really move forward, feeling really free and aligned with that. So yeah, it's been a really interesting, exciting journey.
Well, you're definitely the first person I've ever spoken to that says I've worked with a numerology to change my name and to align with the business name. Interesting.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Can you explain to us a wee bit about numerology? Because people say I've seen 111, 222, 333, 444.
Yeah.
It has to be a wee bit more than that.
Absolutely. And actually, I, in this work with the numerologist, realized how much more there was to it than even I had realized myself, because I am absolutely a number person and I love seeing those angel numbers. They're a big part of my life. So I worked with a lovely lady called Joanna Soley, and she looked at your life path number and the energy of your name. So your name is actually how people see you. So the numbers in your name are how people see you. And your life path number then is, so if you're life path 9, which is me, that's humanitarian. So there's so many significant things within it. And actually the work that we did around the numbers shows you how it's best for you to show up in your life and your business, what to draw on, what energies to draw on, and sort of the shadow side to be aware of as well. So really very interesting, very interesting. And you
Excellent.
also get to know where there might be some karmic debt attached, so you can navigate that and make sure that that doesn't show up as well. Really, really interesting.
Excellent, excellent. But you actually stirred a wee memory. I remember a lady in America, and I paid a whole lot to just have a session with her, a lady that I'd followed on YouTube. I thought I'm going to have a session with that woman. I had to wait for months. And when you just said about the lady said you were number 9, I remember her saying to me, I was a 13. Now, I do not know what 13 is, but maybe if somebody listens to this, enlighten me what a 13 is.
Yeah, absolutely. Because my understanding is the 13, you add the 1 and 3, so it's a 4 then. So I can't tell you, sorry,
Okay,
Evelyn, what
okay.
the 4
No,
energy is, but
no.
yes, it's definitely interesting to look up and read because it
All
really
righty.
see where it aligns with you. Good.
So tell us then how I have our paths have crossed was through LinkedIn.
Yes.
And your photographs are beautiful. There's something soft. I think I'm drew to people. I'm a visual person. I love video. I love creating. Um, I don't know. There's something just for me. So that's, and I know that, I had seen your name come up a few times. This is right. There's a woman I'm going to get in touch with. So, Joe, explain to us what it is that you do.
I work with people who want to navigate some change in their life. So even if they're feeling stuck right now, and yeah, the things that unfortunately we accept as the norm in life right now, being in distress, accepting that decisions we've made in the past that didn't serve us are just what we have to accept, and tolerating situations or behavior that just doesn't serve us, instead of choosing what we really desire. What we desire is meant for us, that's coming through us. And sometimes we can't see a pathway to that. So through my own experience and that of other people in my life, I have been able to create a pathway to help people do that and to navigate their emotions along that journey. So it's something that really matters a lot to me. And yeah, being able to hold space for people as they go on that journey. So
Oh, lovely. Would you care to, again, entirely up to yourself, and you said through your own experiences, anything you'd want to share then, Joe, that look, this is what I have come through. This is how I know this works. I've had to navigate, and that's why I want to assist others, maybe from what
yeah,
I have
yeah,
learned.
yeah, and absolutely. And I know that there's nothing special about me, but that my story may resonate with other people. Um, I, as a young girl, was very insecure, very, very insecure, and just lived in anxiety and always very much the people pleaser to my own detriment. And I suppose nobody ever told me that I could choose something different for me. That's just how it was. And so the decisions that I made in my life definitely weren't for me. So I'm currently 54. I'm separated, but, and that, as I say, is not anything strange, but I did marry the same man twice.
There you go.
So yeah, and that was because it seemed like the right thing to do, and all of those things, and yeah, tolerated things that really weren't for me. And I thought I was doing the best thing for my kids, but actually I was teaching them to ignore their own gut and what they knew was wrong and tolerate things that weren't right. So unfortunately, very sadly, it was a loss of my sister that was a really, really pivotal moment in my life. She didn't feel that she could make change in her life and she couldn't cope with her emotions. Um, and she didn't take her own life, but due to lifestyle choices, she died in her 40s. And that just made me realize that she didn't feel that she could make changes. And here I was with this facade, because don't get me wrong, we had a lovely life, beautiful home, um, careers and businesses and travel, all of the things. So on the outside, it looked like we had an amazing life. But that, as I say, it was a facade. So that was a real light bulb moment for me to make different choices in my life. And it
Mm.
wasn't an easy journey. Yeah, lots of challenges and all of the things, other people's opinions, which is so huge. and expectations. And I just had to get to a point where I was like, well, I'm not prepared to spend the next 30 years not living the life that I want. So some people would say I blew it all up. So their perception that I had this lovely life and that I blew it all up. And I literally walked away from everything in order to be truly me and to create the life that was aligned with me, to show up in life as me authentically and to help other people do that too. So that's it in short.
No, I get it. And actually, it stirred something. I feel there's something actually you said earlier on has gone, aha, I have been having the wildest dreams lately. And I said to Jim, I'm not joking you. I was dreaming the other night I remarried the same man twice. And you just said it there. And I'm
Yeah.
like, there you go. And I was like, how did I manage? How did I do this? How did I do this? And then this wee voice come in and said, you did remarry Evan, but you married a different man. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, how did I manage that? So it's strange now hearing you
Yeah.
a day or
Yeah.
two later just reflect
Uh-huh.
that back.
Yeah.
It is a scary decision
Yeah.
to step away from something that, I'm not happy here. And like as you said to the outside world, you have everything. You have everything. Why many one would give their right arm for it. And that ability, and I think and commend you for it also, because it shows to me that the non-attachment to stuff. Because as you know, Joe, and I'm quite sure people that come to you, there ain't one thing on the outside that's ever going to make you happy. It has to begin with you.
Yes, 100%. 100%, Evelyn. And that's, yeah, it's freedom to actually let go of that and make different choices, because we all have the ability to create um whatever we need and want for ourselves in our life. And we can get stuck on all the excuses. There's never a right time. There's never a right time. And one of the big things is if you have children. And as I say, I thought I was doing the right thing by staying in a relationship for the children. But actually I was teaching them to not choose themselves. And I can honestly tell you, when I made this choice, they fully supported me, which I'm very grateful for. The ripple effect, then the change that it made in their lives, as well as they then chose to get to know themselves and what mattered, is just really beautiful thing to see as well. And often the impact of us making those difficult decisions and choosing ourselves, which is what we're supposed to do, we can't see actually the benefit that it's going to have for other people as well.
Yeah, I know a few women that are in a similar situation. Listen, I was there myself.
Yeah.
And for happiness, I think you have to be prepared, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And you will hear a lot of other people's opinions. You're entitled to, you should have, he should have done, da 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 da. Depending on how they have come through a separation, they're going to offload their opinions. And it is a scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be next year, next year, next year. I know a lady that she said, I don't know, 15 years, she had been building up her bottom drawer for when the time came, And it was actually then making that decision, having that conversation, and then, stepping away for herself. But I suppose if we were to, as you say, you're into numerology, energy, spiritual work, perhaps, whatever, when we start to view life a wee bit differently, and think, my path was to cross. I somehow was to remarry the same man twice.
Yeah.
There's obviously things that I needed to learn about myself. And as we discussed this morning on our group, and I just saw a clip come up from Oprah Winfrey, listen to the whispers, because they're going to they have to. Sometimes for people, it has to get extremely loud. We have to be in extremely painful situations. And my heart does go out to your sister, because I think that's a kind of what got me into this line of work too. I had seen it when we were growing up, and I'm quite sure with my mother, all she needed was, because they had trauma from their childhood, but then prescribed medication was handed out. And then there's a whole lot of people had depression and things, and I think in some way, if we can assist or help, there may be another way. There may be another way if we can know that we have the power to change. or to make that about. So tell me, our paths crossed on LinkedIn. How does your material, your information, do you have to reword it differently for LinkedIn? Because I have this different, maybe perceived idea that perhaps on LinkedIn, people have to be different than if you're on, say, Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, there's definitely that expectation, isn't there, that LinkedIn is a professional platform and you show up differently. I am in a space at the minute where I don't really like being put in the boxes and the rules. So I just show up as me. I probably do a little bit more long form type things, and I probably do structure it slightly different. But I think if we fade into a narrative, then we're keeping things the same. So I think it's okay to show up as authentically you if that disrupts things a little bit. Not for the purpose of disrupting, but if you show up on LinkedIn and everyone is just following a narrative of a professional way to do things, we're not disrupting the mindset that people are in, that, as we touched on at the beginning, that functioning from stress is acceptable, and that this is how it has to be. So I just think,
Yeah.
no, show up with
Absolutely
a
no.
different
It's like
energy.
infiltrating the system. Maybe because I actually, you know what, I do see a lot of chit chat now about kindness in the workplace, authenticity, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's like, well, this is me, take it or leave it, or whatever you want to do. Um, has there been anyone has come into your life since, or how long has the separation been for you?
So it's just coming up on a couple of years now of actually, being a very definite thing. So no, I have ventured into
The
the
dating
strange
world.
world of online dating. Peer pressure it was, and it's been very interesting. I've learned a lot about myself, if nothing else. Um,
Yes.
so yes, and you just have to laugh. I know who I'm calling in, and I just patient. I have said that I'd like the universe just to wrap him up in a big bow and deliver him to the door, but it hasn't happened just yet.
I got one. He didn't come on a bow now. He come on a cloud.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
I
that's
just
one because
actually,
then that's the next wee step, isn't it? That if someone does step in, then that's how your kids will adapt to that. This is
yeah.
now,
Oh yeah,
another wee step in that direction.
yeah,
Um, no, so I can relate a lot to that.
yeah.
It's that why do you think is it that people are that they stay in situations they are absolutely so miserable in, their mindset is not good. I do know of some so professional, such professional, wonderful women, and in a relationship, and the other person is not that great of a person. Um, but they feel they haven't the strength to go down because they'd already previously been married. They haven't the strength to go through the whole court system and all of that again. So it's nearly make do. It might change. There's good days. I wonder why. Do you think does that if you get kicked hard enough, you'll just lie down?
I think you touched on a wee bit of it there, Evelyn, that there's this desire for things to be different, and people can quite often live in this desire that they want it to be something different, and well, they can just delete the bad stuff sometimes and focus on. I think just people who care about other people and are kind, they want to see the good in others, and often will put themselves last in order not to rock the boat, or yeah, and as you say, it it can just seem too hard to do it all
Mm,
again.
yeah. So, what would you say then for women or men or anybody that's not identifying as either or
Mm-hmm.
about how do you change your life? You know, because you've had to do a lot of work probably on yourself. What would be your top tips really on consistency really that is extremely important in your life?
I mean, you talked earlier about people waiting until it's really painful. I heard a wee story the other day about a man out for a walk, and he came across a man with a dog, and the dog was whimpering. And he said, "Why is your dog whimpering?" And the owner responded, "He's sitting on a nail." He says, "Well, why doesn't he get off the nail?" And he says, "It's not painful enough yet." And we do, sometimes wait till things are really bad. But I think you've got to listen to yourself. You already know. You're just maybe ignoring it. And the more that you have practices in your day where you get really grounded and go inward, the more you can trust yourself to make the decisions that are right for you. And yes, sometimes we need a different strategy or vehicle to help us get there. So, reach out to the person that you're aligned with that can help you on your journey, that, have the expertise to guide you. But yeah, trust in yourself and having, daily habits for me, those habits to really, as I say, get grounded and tune into what's right for me and trust myself makes all the difference.
Yeah. Because I'm sure whenever I reached out and sent you a wee message, would you like to meet up for a chat? You have to sit with yourself and think, is this for me or is it not? And me as the receiver, if you said no, well, I have to be an acceptance of that. It mustn't have been right for her. And I don't take offense from that. It just wasn't to be. Or if this call wasn't to happen, it wasn't going to happen. You would have had another client, the technology, the internet would have been down, something would have prevented it.
Yeah. And I think the more that we are able to tune into ourselves, the more we can be connected to that knowing of what's right for ourselves and allow all of the noise outside of ourselves to kind of drop off or bounce off. I like to have my protective bubble and know that the stuff that's coming in that's not for me is just bouncing back. But yeah, it takes practice to get in that place. And awareness is the first step in any change. So you're already aware, then the next thing is just to do something different, make a different choice.
And taking I think if we choose to take responsibility and not blaming others, I'm going to take responsibility because if I do believe I'm attracting things in or pulling things in, what do I need to change?
Yes.
And then it takes the focus off someone else that needs to change. Joe, if someone was coming to you, then do you work with them on a one-to-one basis? Is there a certain set time that you work with clients?
Yeah, I work with clients on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays every week. I have amazing, wonderful people that I work with. And at the minute, that is one-to-one. And lots of other lovely, exciting things to bring coming in the future. But at the minute, I'm one-to-one. And I am actually, for anybody that would be interested to look at what the pathway for change for them might look like, or just to get to know me a little bit more. I do have a webinar next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. UK Irish time.
Well, now we're going to have to put that date in because someone could be listening to this podcast in a year from now.
Yeah.
So what date is that then, Joe?
So that webinar is next Tuesday. So that is Tuesday, the 13th of August.
2024.
2024.
Just in case you're listening to this in 2027.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can get to know me a little bit more on social media platforms, LinkedIn that we've mentioned, and Instagram, or on my website. And if anybody just wants to talk.
Okay, I'll put your website details in it, but do you just want to tell us what your website address is, Joe?
So my website is joeroseconsciouschange.co.uk.
joeroseconsciouschange.co.uk. Lovely. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If any of you feel or have been asking or looking for a sign or needing a message, and you're sitting listening to this today, maybe this is the woman for you. Do Do you work with men as well, Joe? Or only women?
I do. Mostly women, but I do work with men as well. Whoever feels that we're fit to work together. And
Great, great. I wonder have I gotten to know you a wee bit more? There is a gentleness about you, because I have a visual here. There's a gentleness about you, and green is obviously a good your color because I see green is mostly all around you there. Funny enough, I see most of my things when I look around now, I see them as green. But Joe, I want to say thank you so much for trusting in me, for just having a free fall conversation, if I can speak now. And that's about trust, isn't it?
yeah,
I just be very curious to hear about people and know. So there you go. You're the first person that I have heard of that's had a numerologist help them and guide them in picking their business name and their actual name. And what else did I learn about you today? Yes, you might see a man twice. Not cleared up my dream. It's all about me. All about me.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. Thank you so much. And you're just saying that I have a softness about me. I literally just watched your podcast with your husband this morning, and it was so lovely. And you have that lovely energy. So I think that's part of maybe what attracted us to one another, just that energy. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Joe. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. You'll find details of Joe in the description, whatever or wherever you're listening on, what YouTube, Spotify, Apple. And Shirley, if you want to find out a bit more about her, you can find her on LinkedIn and Instagram and check her out on our website. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.